welcome to the Koalafied Gamer Guys podcast. I'm your host, Steve. With me, as always, is Neil. Neil, it's unlucky number 13 today.
Oh, it's lucky number 13. I was born on the 13th.
And you've cursed the world with your presence ever since. So,
I'll be
This
okay.
is podcast 13. 13 already, which is crazy. Thanks to all of our listeners. And we'll start it off just by throwing a shout out to our friends at Core Gamer, as we always like to do. Core Gamer is an awesome service that you'll go over to www.coregamer.com, put in your email. They'll send you an email every single day with some information that's going on in the gaming world. We use these emails to put together our news segment, and they're really helpful. They're really cool. It's a cool layout. So go over to coregamer.com, put in your email, and sign up for that. That's Core Gamer, the biggest news in gaming daily. Neil, we got an email.
We did.
We got an email.
And you know how excited you were about this email?
Here's the mail. It never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. And when it comes, I want to wail. Mail. This is the mail segment. First time we've been able to do it.
How long have you been waiting to do that?
I've been waiting since day one to sing that song.
It's the only reason you wanted mail, so you could sing that song.
Only reason. I plead it for Nail every week. Nail. I did not plead for Nail. I plead for mail every week. And our friend Wyatt, our listener Wyatt, sent us an email. I actually got this email at 6 in the morning, and I called Neil
Immediately
at 6 a.m. And he was asleep, and I woke him up, and I told him, "Hey, we got mail." But obviously we couldn't do anything about it because we weren't recording for a while. But I was pretty excited. Yeah. So this email comes from Wyatt. He says, "I shall be the first to ask a question. If you could have one video game sequel made, what would it be?" Then he says, "Don't F this up. I'm talking to you, Neil. I trust Steve more than you." Thank you, Wyatt.
It actually, Steve's not making that up. It really does say that.
That's how it says. So that's our friend Wyatt. So you can answer this one first. And Wyatt, we didn't know if you meant games that have never had any sequels or games that have had a bunch of sequels but haven't had one in a while, so we want another one. So we're going to answer it both ways. So, Neil, what are your selections here?
So my selection, Steve, since we're awesome and we like to answer a question completely, for the game that has a whole series, but it's been a while since whatever the 6th or 7th one has come out, mine has to be Suikoden, because that's definitely my favorite series, and the last game was on the PS2. So it's been over 10 years since their last game.
Well, it's been a whole console generation.
Oh yeah, and I've missed it ever since. It's my favorite game, and the last one was
probably doesn't miss you, Neil. Just putting that out there.
Maybe someday, but for right now, it doesn't. And people are it's one of that, the community where like, oh, Suikoden 2 came out, so everyone's like, the remastered came out, so everyone's loving it, and people are going, oh, it's gonna be like they're gonna make the 6th one, but they're never gonna do it. It's not gonna sell it. And I know that, so I wish it would happen.
Actually, it's going to come out. It's only going to come out in Japan, which is going to make it worse for you.
I've looked into, it was for Valkyria Chronicles 3, which only came out in Japan.
Yes.
I looked into buying a Vita, and there's a way to convert it.
Yes.
And there was and it was for the way their instructions to tell you how to convert it and everything. They used Valkyria Chronicles 3 as the example. So it would have been perfect.
Well, you didn't do that. But
Good.
So that's your choice for a game that has had a couple sequels, but hasn't had one in a while. What's your choice for a game that's never had a sequel?
Gonna have to be Ni no Kunai, which came out on the PS3 not that long ago.
Ni no Kuni?
Ni no Kuni.
Yeah, Ni no Kuni. Neil loves this game a lot.
It's a really good game.
So much that he can't even pronounce the name. But go on.
It's a weird name, but this was like one of those shockingly difficult games that it looks like a kid's game, so you go, oh, it'll just be this easy thing. But you have to like grind and level up and do all these side quests, and if you don't get the right creature, you'll struggle with it a lot. And I spent like easily over 50 hours in one playthrough. On like my first playthrough, so not even like just kind of rushing through it. And everyone loved it. And even I remember you played the demo, I think.
I did. I played the demo. At the time, I wasn't into turn-based RPGs, and even I liked it. But since I played the demo, I'm actually really into turn-based RPGs now. So I actually would like a sequel, because I'm not about to pull out my PS3 to play
that
it.
You don't have?
But I don't have, I was going to say. Or pull out a PS3 and play it. But I would play a second one if it were to come out, which I could see it coming out.
I could see it happening too, but It was between I forgot if it was level 5 the developer.
I believe it was level 5.
I
Yes.
think it was level 5, and then there was also Studio Ghibli, which does all their
Hmm.
Japanese movies. So you have to
Yeah.
get those two studios together,
Yeah.
which
Again,
is
which is hard.
unlikely. So I could see if they did it just one studio pick, like if level 5 picked it up by themselves, I could
Hmm.
see it happening, and I really hope it does. That's kind of my hopeful one that I think it could happen down the line because I know it was popular and it did really well.
Hmm.
But why don't you tell me yours, Steve? You start with the series one.
All right. So I'm a huge Ratchet and Clank fan, and there hasn't been like a real Ratchet and Clank game since a crack in time.
How
There's been
long
a
ago
few.
was that?
Oh God, I was in high school, so at least 5 years ago. More, probably a junior year, so about 6 years ago.
Okay.
That sounds about right. 2009. Um, yeah, so that was the last real one. Since then, they've had a four-person co-op one, which was a spin-off. Then they've had a tower defense one, which was a spin-off. Then they had another one that was also a spin-off. Oh, no, no, no. They had Into the Nexus, which was a Ratchet game, but it was a smaller scale Ratchet game, which I actually played using PlayStation Now. Remember, I used
Yeah,
that.
that was the one thing that
Yeah, that I used it
I
for
do remember
PlayStation
that.
Now. So I want a full Ratchet game on the PS4, brand new. They're remastering the first Ratchet game from the ground up this fall because the Ratchet and Clank movie is coming out this fall, which is based on the first game. So like they're redoing that one, but I'm talking about Ratchet and Clank 7 if you're not counting all the spin-offs. Ratchet and Clank 7, that's what I want on the PS4. Those games look like you're playing a Pixar movie. It's great. The guns in that game are amazing. But that's not a real sequel. So I have another answer,
Okay.
which is a game that only came out once, and that's the Wonderful 101 for the
Okay.
Wii U.
You were obsessed with this game.
That game is amazing. It's by Platinum, the same people who made Bayonetta 2 and Bayonetta, obviously, which was my game of the year last year. So when I saw the Wonderful 101, which is kind of strange, but that was the game that I said to myself, I need to get a Wii U to play that. It wasn't Mario, it wasn't anything. I was like, that looks crazy. So I finally got a Wii U when it was on sale. I got it for ridiculously cheap. And I bought the Wonderful 101, which is really hard to find. So I actually have. It's one of the few games I've never sold back because like they stopped printing it and they only made I think 500,000 copies. So I have a copy.
Must be a great game.
Yeah, well, it was the problem. The problem it had is it came out when the Wii U didn't sell at all. So like,
It was a very strange game that you needed to know
yeah,
that it was going to be good based off the developer's platinum. You had to have that
yeah,
faith.
yeah. You had to know Platinum was developing it. So it's really strange. Like you're playing it, and you have like up to 101 little characters on your screen at all time that you move as a big mob, and you draw using the touchpad. Like if you want them to meld into a sword, you draw a straight line. But like the longer you draw the line, the more powerful the sword is because it's longer. If you want to turn them into a gun, you draw an L, then they turn into a gun and you could shoot. So it's really cool concept. It's a lot of fun. It's got the very fluid action combat that you would expect out of a Platinum game, but it's a whole new take, and it's just like you're just running around as this group of 100 superheroes, just like kicking aliens' butt, and it's awesome. It's so much fun. It's like watching a comic book, and it's funny because like there's so many characters in the game. There's the main people, which are like Wonder Red, Wonder Pink, Wonder Blue, Wonder Green. Those are the main 7. There's more, obviously. But then there's like all these little like heroes that like they just gave like specific superhero names for no reason because like you never even see them. But like you can go into the thing and like, oh, here's Wonder Toilet, and it's just a man who has a toilet for a head. Or here's Wonder Baguette, and like he's this French guy who's holding a bunch of bread. And it's like you can look at like each individual like ridiculous superhero that's in your like group of superheroes. It's just a lot of fun, and they slipped Beautiful Joe in there as like a little joke. Like you can find him. So that game's awesome. I'd love to see a Wonderful 102, but I doubt it just because it didn't sell well. It's kind of like a cult classic now. And Platinum, I think, is gonna put all their hay in the Bayonetta basket if they decide to make another Wii U game. So.
Yeah, I think so. Because Bayonetta was the one that
Bayonetta's, yeah, everybody loved Bayonetta.
Yeah, so
everybody loved it. But I would hope that people would play Bayonetta 2 and then be like, oh, what else has Platinum done? and like if you play Bayonetta 2, you already have a Wii U, then say like, oh, the Wonderful 101, let me give this a try because it really is good. Yeah, so that's my game I wish would have a sequel. So that wraps up our email section. Thanks for the question, Wyatt. If you, dear listener, would like to appear on the show, send us an email to qualifiedgamerguys@gmail.com. If nothing else, you can hear me sing the song again, and we'll answer your question. So thanks again, Wyatt, and we're looking forward to some more emails. So that rolls us right into This Week in Video Game Release History. Neil, you're going to talk a lot about this one.
Watch me.
Walking Dead Episode 1, so of Season 1, came out April 25th, 2012, 3 years ago.
Okay.
Which is the cutoff for our This Week in Video Game Industry. It has to be at least 3 years old. So, how was it?
I never played it.
You never played it?
I watched a Let's Play of the whole season, and then I played Season 2. But here's the thing. This is the game that put Telltale on the map and made it the juggernaut that it is today.
Okay.
This is because they did Back to the Future. They did another game. They did like these
Jurassic Park.
Yeah, and I remember playing a demo for Back to the Future. Like, this is surprisingly good. I didn't expect it. And so Telltale was around, but this was what everyone played, and this is when like the first episode was like, it was okay. I mean, it was just setting everything up. Mm-hmm. And then the second episode, I think it starts with like, within 30 seconds, you have to cut someone's leg off, or they're gonna get bitten by a zombie or something. Mm-hmm. So like this sets it all off. Like, this gets honestly the train in motion for what Telltale will become today, where they're doing Borderlands games and Game of Thrones. They basically become almost like the fan fiction of the video game world.
Yeah. And
I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, like, they take a character that everyone likes in the game and they just create this entire other world, this story for them. And it's just, they always had that typical, like, you know, tough choices, it's going to affect the gameplay kind of thing. Like, I love Wolf Among Us, which they also did. But this one, it's the beginning, man. It's crazy that it's only 3 years old. I thought it was a lot older than that.
Okay, yeah. I know.
When you think of other games that like are starting, like Assassin's Creed, like, I know it's totally different. It's a AAA game. It takes years to develop. But the first one was back in like the beginning of the PlayStation 3. This is like, in 3 years, Telltale went from basically nobody to, they have a game coming out at least probably once every other month, maybe not even.
Which reminds me, I have to play the Borderlands episode 2. I waited so long for it, then like I forgot it came out.
and Game of Thrones just came out, and once these two are done, they'll probably start back up Wolf Among Us and The Walking Dead Season 3. So it's almost a TV show way, which it kind of, that's how it's mirrored. It also, it brought, made popular again the episodic format of video games, which now Life is Strange took after, and Resident Evil Revelations 2. So, like, it did a lot, and this is kind of the game that did it, I would say, the very first Walking Dead episode. Mm-hmm. So how'd you like that, Steve? How'd you like me talking all about it without ever actually saying anything about the episode?
I think it's funny, because I always thought that you were the big Walking Dead guy, but I've actually played this one. It's the only episode I've ever played of The Walking Dead. So, like, I really should have been the one to take the lead on it. I played it, and it kind of turned me off from it. I didn't think it was that great. But
really?
I love the Borderlands one, but because I think that's just because I like the humor in it. But I really didn't enjoy it. Like, I played it, and like I did the whole thing where like you're caught in like the convenience store or whatever, and like it just wasn't memorable to me. And like I like didn't care about the choices as much, I guess, as I should have. But
here's the thing. Maybe you'll find this interesting. I'm not the only one who thinks this. A lot of people that you'll just see online on forums and NeoGaf and stuff, they say Telltale's worst series is The Walking Dead, and that's the one that's most popular. Because everything else is
I think that just comes from the show just being so popular, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the biggest name they have, but The Wolf Among Us is probably my favorite, and that's like, it's so creative, and I know that's like, it's from the graphic novel, so it's not like they came up with it on their own, but that's so deep.
Yeah. And
you like Borderlands because of the humor, and I know Game of Thrones is huge.
I just love Borderlands in general. It's one of my favorite game series.
Yeah, so it's cool. It's interesting you say that because I kind of agree. Like Walking Dead is my least favorite. I like it. Season 2 I thought was a lot better.
What was the 40 days thing? Was that like a spinoff or what was that?
It was branching season 1 and season 2 because there was like a 2-year difference, and I didn't
Okay.
play 40 days, but there was a couple of characters that appeared in season 2, and I think the point was like you didn't get much backstory in the season 2, but if you played 40 days, you kind of knew their backstory already, and you knew what was going on. So it kind of like was a way to skip the character development in the actual game, and like you could get it
like just go right into action.
So like I didn't care for characters that other people probably cared a lot about, but that's just kind of the way it is. I didn't want to pay for 40
That's just
days.
the way it is. All right. Well, I mean, it's worth talking about because Telltale.
Telltale, it's a thing.
I feel like we talked about The Walking Dead before.
Probably.
This week in video game release history. But, like, why? Because this is episode 1.
Who knows? I don't know. I feel like maybe we've mentioned it.
I feel like we did talk about it. If anyone's watched all the episodes, probably What's the Note has. Let us know if we've talked about this week in video
Calling
game
one
history.
person out to figure it out.
Well, because
That's
he
nice.
comments on most of them. So I
we
figure
assume.
I figure that he listens to most of them. All right. Well, that is your not ours. Your this week in video game release history. Games came out this week.
Coming out this week.
Came out this week. By the time you hear this, what do you got? Shovel Knight. Right?
Shovel Knight. It's a game that a lot of people love that I have no interest in.
Really, I'm gonna play it. I think on the PS4.
I feel like you kind of like the old schoolish side-scrolling 8-bit games, though. I'm starting to think.
No, but this one just got such good reviews and everything, and I hear like it just does it better than anything else. So I want to give it a try. And obviously, I could have played it on the Wii U or the 3DS for, a long time, but I wanted to play it on the PS4. And with the added addition of Kratos being a character, I think that's pretty funny. So I'm gonna check it out.
I didn't know that. That is funny.
Yeah, they put like a 8-bit Kratos in there that you could I think you can play through the game as him. Like I wouldn't do that in the beginning. I'd obviously play through as Shovel Knight to get the actual experience, but that'd be fun to mess around with Kratos afterwards.
That seems so strange, like random. That's just Kratos in this game.
I think they did for the Xbox. I think they put a Battletoad in it because remember Xbox bought the rights to Battletoads.
Yeah.
So I think it's funny that like Xbox has no creative characters of their own that they just had to throw.
It's too young. Like Microsoft, Xbox, like.
Well, like,
you know what I mean?
Like, what they couldn't put Master Chief in there because it wouldn't work.
That's it. That's who they have.
That's who they have. That Marcus Phoenix from Gears of War. Not really.
No.
What else do they have?
Just have like the bloodiest game characters in something like.
Well,
no,
I mean,
they're
Kratos
trying to get Tomb Raider, I guess.
Yeah, but not even. That's not even exclusive.
I know.
That's what I always like make fun of. Like, obviously, like we're not the biggest Microsoft fans, but like we like games, so we don't hate them. But like they have no iconic characters other than Master Chief, and Master Chief is like a faceless protagonist. Really, he's just a He's just
I know people love Halo and Master Chief, and I get it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, PlayStation went through its series like Crash Bandicoot.
There's
to be
no
the face of it for a long time.
personality,
Yeah, they like rely on celebrities almost. Like all the commercials have like a celebrity in it.
Think about obviously the PS. All right, let's just take the PS2 era. So games that started in the PS2 era, like these characters aren't around anymore because they don't get games. But actually, Sly Cooper got a game. But Sly Cooper came out of that era. Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank came out of that era. Then PS3, you had Sackboy, Nathan Drake, and these are all characters that had personality. You know what I mean?
That's the whole reason I think Microsoft's trying to get Tomb Raider because they realize they don't have those kind of games. They have.
Why don't you just make one?
I mean, that's what you do. You're a big publisher and you just buy a developer.
That's
why they bought Crystal
Microsoft
Dynamics for Tomb Raider.
Like they just buy things. Like rather than like give them offerings, they just spend all this money to make sure that they get Call of Duty DLC a month before everyone else.
But you know what? I bet Call of Duty is the one keeping Microsoft alive. And not to say they're going out of business or anything like that. But you know that if you're gonna play Call of Duty, you're gonna get the Xbox.
Yeah. Yeah, if the only games you care about are Call of Duty and then probably you care about Halo, then just get an Xbox. But if you don't like a lot of, variety or whatever, you know.
Like Bloodborne. Like that's like
Yeah,
such a
Bloodborne, exactly. So I mean, and you could say, hey, like Sony, oh, like they bought From Software or whatever. They didn't buy them, but they paid them to make it uh, just for the PS4 or whatever. But like that game's published by Sony Japan, so they actually put work into it on their own. They didn't just buy the exclusivity.
yeah.
So
So
they did buy the exclusivity of Street Fighter 5, but that's a different story.
so Shovel Knight.
Yeah, Shovel Knight. We're far off from Shovel Knight.
Always as this anytime we get a chance to bash the Xbox, we'll just do it.
Yeah. There's no personality over there. It's so businesslike.
But Shovel Knight might
Yeah, Shovel Knight.
it's a game that again
It's a lot of people are interested. I'm sure it'll do well on the PS4, so
I'm sure it will. Because the Wii U is like not a small audience, but now that it's so popular,
I think it was,
people have been waiting for it to come out.
but it was the perfect audience to start this game on that got it such good reviews. Like people who buy a Wii U probably have a reverence for Mario, who are into platformers, therefore, and most of them will have played the old one, so they're like, hey, like this game looks interesting. So
Yeah, that's true.
all right, Trine 3 Artifact of Power comes to Steam. I could give a rat's ass, but I know that this is very exciting for you. So,
It's only early access, which the only reason it's kind of a big deal is because it was only announced a couple of weeks ago, so it's really soon. People thought it would be like next year they'd start giving early access and stuff like that. But this is the game that I'm considering if I can get into the early access. I don't know if it's just a paid thing or whatnot.
you just pay for it.
And then yeah, I'm gonna do it because I really want to play this game. But it's just a matter of
Snooze fest.
I'm really mad you don't like it because
I don't like it, Neil. It's not my type.
It's
not my type.
It's a typical game that Steve put in about 20 minutes and wasn't overall thrilled in the very.
If you don't, all right. Here's the deal. There's a method to my madness. Okay.
There's not.
If you don't catch my attention within 20 minutes and I didn't pay for it, like Trine 2, for example, I didn't pay for it.
Yeah.
You're done. Like I'm not playing you. Like I gave you a chance. You didn't do it. But if I paid for a game, like I paid for Bloodborne, $60. I hated it after 2 hours. I literally despised the game. I was like, this game sucks. It's so bad. I was like, cursed. I'm like, what a waste of money. And now I love it because I got into it because I forced myself into it. But the difference is I paid $60 for it, so I felt an obligation to play it.
Okay, I actually understand that.
You
that
understand? There's a sunken cost into Bloodborne. There isn't a sunken cost into something else. I don't have the same drive to continue to play it. But go on.
That's very true.
What's new in Trine 3? What's different? New characters or what?
It's the same characters, but Trine 1 and 2 was a side scroller, and this has more 3D elements to it.
Yeah,
and it's just,
I remember.
So it's just an updated thing, which Trine 2 did a lot over Trine 1. It's the kind of games that like you can see that they put a lot of effort to like fix the problems in the first game. So I'm really looking forward to this. And so early access, if you're into Trine, get that. If you're just like Steve, then don't.
Don't. All right, Assassin's Creed Chronicles comes out for the Xbox One, PS4, and PC. Is this that little Chinese side scroller?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. It reminds me of like the Prince of Persia, the side scroller versions of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it looks. I'm not going to play it. I don't plan on playing it because I'm not.
What about the Princess of Persia? If you know what I mean, huh?
So, Assassin's Creed is trying some new things out. It's I bet this would be very popular unless if they royally screw it up somehow. Like it's not that shocking. People love these kinds of games and they love the Assassin's Creed universe, and so I think it's just putting 2 and 2 together. And I think it's going to do really well. That's my prediction for it, anyways. I don't plan on playing it, but I think a lot of people will.
I didn't even play Unity. Like I didn't even try to play Unity.
You will like if that game at some point you see it for like $15 or $20, you'll pick it up.
I've seen it for 20 though, and I still didn't get it.
But that's But imagine, all right, imagine it's like August and there's nothing. If it was $20, you would probably pick it up.
I'm not letting you have this one.
You're not going to do it?
No.
You're refusing?
At this point, I might as well just wait for the next one.
That makes no sense.
Well, like I'm just boycotting, Neil. Actually, no. I didn't. I didn't love Black Flag, and I think I'm getting a little burnt out on the game.
Okay, I mean, I don't agree with you, but I understand.
Like I just feel like I was getting a little burnt out on the formula. And that doesn't like I loved Assassin's Creed. I even liked 3, which a lot of people didn't like 3. But I think Black Flag started to make me go.
I love Black Flag.
I know you do.
It's definitely away from the Assassin's Creed formula. I'll give you that. But I thought just on its own, it was a really great game.
It was so forgetful to me that my friend's playing it for the first time right now, and he texted me last night. Do you remember like how to do this, this, and this? I was like, "What game are you talking about?"
I'll give you that because I couldn't
he's like Black Flag.
All I can think about is just like sailing my ship around, but I could not tell you a single other thing. I couldn't even tell you a single character.
There's nothing memorable about it. There's no like none of the locations are memorable in my eyes. You know, but that's just me. I like Assassin's Creed. I want to enjoy another Assassin's Creed game, but I don't think. I think I need a radical step away from it. So, and that one time I played Unity with you, it was running at like.
To be fair, that could be any game you share play with.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, all right, yeah, that came out. Smells like a free game one eventually.
I don't think Ubisoft would go that low, but
no, I think they would. Think about it. That'll be the free game in like October, so that people play it, and then they're like, hey. There's a new Assassin's Creed coming out next month.
Okay, that's nice. We should put that on our other bets that I always forget we make.
Hey, that's a good business idea right there.
It is. I think you're actually onto something with that.
And the last one we got here is a Game of the Year contender. We got Will Fight for Food, the super actual sellout Game of the Hour. It's coming out on Steam. Neil, I've been pegging this one for about 3 or 4 years. I've been really following the development closely. What do you think about it?
This is like if this was already out, I would have said I want a sequel for this game. If we could have done that at this point.
You know what? I'm gonna go there. I want a sequel for We'll Fight for Food.
So I watched the trailer to this.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it's the developer voicing over the game. And he understands it's completely pointless and dumb. So it's well aware of how stupid it is.
Yes.
And
it looks like a Flash game.
It looks like a game you could find on like addicting games.
It looks like you go to addictinggames.com and you start playing this. Although one of the screenshots did have a koala in it, so I'm a big fan.
You didn't know it, but that was a little Easter egg to us because we were.
It was an Easter egg because I've been following the development for 3 years.
Or yesterday when they started it.
3 years, Neil. 3 years.
It's a game that I don't.
It's a game. It's a game. That's all you need to say about it.
It's a game that has a funny title and it knows it's a funny title, so it thinks people are gonna buy it because of the funny title, and it's gonna work.
Like Hyper Dimension Neptunia Rebirth.
Every time I see any games, I always send it to Steve because there's so many. Like there's a karaoke game of that, and like the spin-offs for that game. But this game,
something about Vita owners, man. They're like just pervy games.
They do, man. They really do.
All right, those are the games. That's it. That's all that's coming out. I guess Shovel Knight this week. I don't know. It's kind of a rough week.
I mean, we're getting into that season, kind of. You know, like we're dwindling. Besides Witcher 3 or whatever. We still have
Witcher 3. We still have Batman. For me, we still have Splatoon. There's still some hitters this year, but most of them are behind us until the fall.
I mean, you just said 3 games I don't care at all about.
Really? You don't care about The Witcher 3? I figured that would be your kind of game. Like, I'm kind of on the fence about it, but I figured you would definitely get it.
I didn't like the first one. I didn't like the second one.
Okay, then that'll be enough to push.
But the third one looks so cool. It does. Like, it looks so much better, and I don't know.
I thought that, like, if you were willing to take a try on Dragon Age Inquisition, I thought for sure you would be getting this.
But Dragon Age Inquisition is more RPG. I think this is a more action-ish, if that makes sense. And so, like, I was into, like, the RPG elements of Dragon's Age. But this is looking really cool. It's looking, like, really cool. I don't know how else to say that because I don't know that much about it.
Really cool.
Let me tell you, Steve, in my professional opinion, it looks really cool.
We also still have Mario Kart DLC, which comes out this week, which is huge. 8 new tracks, Neil.
I did see that, and I didn't put it on there because no one cares.
Well, people care, Neil. People care. 8 new tracks. One of them's based on Animal Crossing. Anyway, all right. The news. We're going to start the news, even though we kind of did start the news. This is brought to us by Core Gamer. Again, go to coregamer.com, enter your email, and sign up. We're going to start off with something near and dear to me, Neil's hearts. Bloodborne's getting faster load times.
I can't wait if they actually do it.
Who knows? What's faster? Like 2 seconds? That'll add up. with the amount of times I die in that game.
The thing is that their exact phrasing is seeks to reduce certain load times in addition to performance optimizations. So
that would make sense because sometimes it does drop frames every now.
It does. But the key word there is certain load times. So that means not even all of them. Like there might be some that are faster. Like maybe
it's like this one boss fight in this certain condition. Yeah, it'll be a little faster.
Exactly. So it's kind of it's a trick around saying, yeah, we're totally fixing it, kind of. And so it's going to be interesting to see, if they actually get faster. They're not horrible. Like when you're dying a lot, they suck. But don't die.
Don't die.
That's it. Avoid the load times. Don't die.
Yeah, but they are a little long. But
they are. They definitely are.
It doesn't hamper my enjoyment of the game. All right. So speaking of Souls games, fans managed to fix that Dark Souls 2 glitch, which came out, where the weapons were degrading faster. And I guess that From Software saw what they did, and then they're like, hey, we could do that too. So they're going to fix it. So this was that they tried to make the game 60 frames per second, but by doing so, all the weapons degrade it twice as fast, correct?
Yes.
It's dumb.
So, well, basically, what I didn't know is it was like that for a year on the PC.
Yeah.
And it was up to you if you wanted to play the game at 60 frames a second, you had to deal with the weapons degrading faster. So From Software was just like, well, don't play it at 60 frames, play it at 30 frames.
Mm-hmm.
And then it finally came out on the PS4 and whatever. And then that's when it gets like typical, like PC doesn't get all the attention. It's like as soon as it comes on a console, it gets all the attention. It has to get fixed because people can't stand it anymore. But I think it's really funny that the fans on the PC got so fed up with it, they just fixed their game for them.
Yeah, which they were probably so busy on Bloodborne that they didn't even care.
I mean, that's what I assumed. It was like a remaster. They're like, look, we're working on other stuff. And because as soon as they were done with Bloodborne, they did fix it,
Yep.
And they didn't they were saying that they would be real dicks, basically, if they could have disallowed the patch that the fans put in. They could have just turned that off kind of thing. But they didn't, and they just took it and fixed it. So it's cool. So it sucked for the PC people for a year, but it's good that it's finally fixed.
Well, yeah, it is, because that is something that would be very annoying. Just playing Bloodborne, just seeing what,
They don't need to have weapon durability.
Weapon durability in any game is just stupid. It's not a fun mechanic. No one's ever like, oh, awesome, my weapon's degrade.
The only game's like Dying Light, where it's really quick and you pick up a lot of other weapons. But in a game where you basically upgrade one weapon...
If I could ban one gameplay mechanic, it would be that.
Yeah? That would be it?
I hate weapon degradation. It's so stupid. It's a video game. We're suspending belief for everything, but I'm supposed to believe that the one thing is that this fucking piece of pipe after 40 hits just breaks. That's not how pipe works. It's a piece of steel. Well, there's zombies everywhere. I can jump off a roof and not break a leg. I can get shot 20 times and my health comes back, but this piece of pipe can't hit something more than 20 times. It's such a stupid double standard.
Tell me how you really feel.
I am telling you how I really feel, Neil. I love you, Neil. That's how I really feel. All right.
Okay.
Let's move on to the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Literally, he texted that exact line to me. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
The Guitar Hero Live, or Guitar Hero was announced. Guitar Hero Live. A new one coming out in the fall.
The coolest thing that Steve has ever seen.
The coolest trailer I've ever seen.
It is very cool. And the way they did it, that you thought it was just this live action thing. Yeah. And it turned out that was the actual game.
Then the fretboard comes up.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit. And then it's face melting. And then you have to hide your... All right. So Guitar Hero Live is coming out in the fall. I can't wait. I love Guitar Hero. I am going to have a hard decision if I'm going to get this or Rock Band.
We better get the same one.
The new Guitar Hero guitar looks awesome. I love what they did. It's only 3 fingers, but it's a top and bottom, so you could do chords now. That's so cool.
It's really cool what they did. They're getting away from the cartoony vibe. It's not a colored controller that's all red and black with blue and whatever other colors I can't see all plastered over it.
Yep, exactly. You're the first person I thought of. I said, oh, it's white and black. Even Neil will be able to play.
It's... Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, the other one, like, I didn't look at the colors. You just look at the spaces. Like, oh, it's
Placement,
on the
yeah,
far right,
placement,
on the far
yeah.
left, or whatever. But this, it's cool that it's like that. I think it's gonna be really difficult. Instead of like, oh, hey, you got like 5 buttons you have to move. This is like you got 6, and you, like you were saying, you can do chords. So I'm really excited too.
It'll be
I
so fun.
I love Guitar Hero. I think I have like 4 Guitar Hero games for the PS2.
Yep. And like they did some really cool, like they're doing some cool stuff where like you can either play like in a first person perspective, or they have this like Guitar Hero TV section where you just go online and like you just play games, not having to download them. You can just play like the songs of the day. So they'll have like different songs of the day that you can just play, and if you like it, you can buy it. If not, like you'll go back tomorrow and that song's gone for the day, and you play 3 new songs. So it's really cool.
That's
like,
really cool. That's
constantly stuff to play. And like when you do the Guitar Hero TV thing, you're playing with the music video in the background, which is also a pretty cool idea. So
that's really cool. That's exactly
yeah.
what they needed to do. They needed to incorporate it specifically into the music world and not have like this whole separate cartoony thing. Like, oh, here, because they had some versions of songs that were like clearly not the actual band singing it. They had like covers, like cover bands almost or whatever. Because so like this is gonna be. It seems like they want All Out to be like, we have to keep updating. We're not gonna get people like buy a new Guitar Hero game every year. We're gonna be like, they have to buy the songs now. So that's really cool. I'm looking forward to it. I'm deciding between that or Rock Band. I don't know, man. Rock Band's really fun too.
Speaking of Rock Band, they did announce that the old Rock Band instruments or Guitar Hero instruments will work with the new Rock Band 4, which is a big deal.
That's a huge deal.
So,
and what do you think? It just comes with like an adapter, right?
Yeah, it probably comes with an adapter.
Some adapter to plug into the USB. Like that's crazy. Really cool. And this statement
they're doing a really good job of getting the DLC to work, and
yeah, and like I like this statement that they were basically like, look, we understand people have bought all these things, and they're just sitting. If you didn't sell them, they're just sitting like someplace. That we're not going to make you buy a whole new guitar if you already have 3 in the closet or whatever. So that's really cool. I mean, you compare that to Nintendo, who like doesn't even sell you an adapter with a game anymore or the system anymore. So it's like it's complete. They like understand, and I really like when companies do stuff like that. When they pay attention, they're like, look, we know you guys have all this stuff. We're not going to make you, and that's going to make sense because if for parents, I'm strictly thinking of parents buying stuff for their kids. They're going to be like, hey, you want Guitar Hero or Rock Band? They're going to be like, well, if I buy Rock or Guitar Hero, I'm going to have to buy a $30 controller with it. If I get Rock Band, I already have all this stuff in my closet. It's going to be cheaper, and I won't have to get all that stuff again.
You know, I meant to, by the way, mention something for Guitar Hero. Another thing that's cool is the guitar is Bluetooth, and you can play by downloading like the Guitar Hero app from like the App Store. So you can like play off your iPad if you want.
Okay, that's really cool. I did not know that. That's really
cool. And then like all your songs transfer. So like they're gonna have it on your computer. You can play off your phone. You can play off your iPad, whatever nice. Android tablets you have. So you
can really be like that emo teen kid up in your room just playing yourself.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I think it's really cool though. Really cool. So music games are coming back. Thank God. I love them. You know, I never got tired of Rock Band. I think
they took a great break because they were just starting to go bad. Not bad, but like people were clearly over them. And
I wasn't over them.
But they just took like this break, and now they're just coming back so strong, and everyone's so excited about them.
I think it was a good break they took. Actually, you're right, because now they're drumming up a lot of interest, and everyone seems to be really excited. So, all right. So music games, we like music. That was a Koalafied Gamer Guys podcast. Now, Star Wars Battlefront is coming out first on Xbox One 5 days earlier. This isn't an exclusivity thing. This is just that happens that EA Access is on the Xbox. It's not on the PS4. So that using EA Access, if you pay the $5 a month subscription fee, you'll be able to play it 5 days before its release, as you can with any EA game. So it's not that big of a deal. But it's still, something that Xbox people will be able to get in there first and play. But at the same time, when they're playing it, they're streaming it. It's not downloaded. So
yeah,
how good of an experience is that really going to be?
Well, this would be the one game, I think, not the one game, but this would be a really good game to boost that EA Access, because I know people will pay $5 for that 1 month just to get this early.
Mm-hmm.
because this is the game that a lot of people have been waiting years to get, including me.
Me too.
I'm so pumped for this game.
Me too. It after the trailer, it became my most anticipated game of the year. So,
I mean, I love Dice and Battlefield,
yeah.
and this is just with it up.
You're excited to see what they do with an old good franchise. So
yeah, because I love the old games too on PS2, that Battlefront. So it's gonna be so great, I think. And I'm finally gonna get you to play a Battlefield game. And what I just see us being like, what if we're just like in the ships together, like
yeah, it'll be fun.
Like flying around AT-ATs, and one of us is like the harpoon gunner, and the other guy's flying.
I just hope when I'm playing it, it doesn't feel like Battlefield with a Star Wars skin.
I hope it does. That's exactly what I hope it does.
You hope it does?
No,
I want.
I don't
new
think it
gameplay.
will. I really don't think it will.
I want new feeling.
No, I think it's gonna feel like the older games, but it's gonna be. You're gonna feel the Battlefield in it because it's gonna be Dice, and that's what they do, and they're very good at it. But I don't think they're just slapping a skin on top of a Battlefield game. I think they're taking the concept of Battlefield, but they're also they like spent a lot of time with like the Lucas films or whatever. Like they spent time on the Skywalker Ranch or whatever it's called, whatever creepy thing he's got going there. Like so they're really trying to get all the effects of Star Wars, and they've like measured like model scales of the ships and like blown it up. So they're not just ignoring the whole Star Wars aspect and like, oh look, we got this franchise we can slap on ours. They're like really trying to go all out with it. So I think it's gonna be a great game.
It'll be cool to see what they do. So all right, we got two little quick stories here. Something for Neil and something for the both of us.
Quick little things.
So Ubisoft has a project that's set in the Child of Light universe, which is
that's it. That's the news. There's nothing else. That's literally it. It was a tweet. It was based off a tweet that one developer or whatever said.
So I mean, if you like Child of Light, then good for you.
But I just like the fact that they're doing more stuff with that
engine.
UbiArt
engine.
UbiArt. It's so cool. Like Rayman's. That's what's Rayman.
I want a new Rayman game. That's what I want.
Dude, I can't wait for a new Rayman game. They're gonna make it. Maybe
we'll get one at E3. We might.
Oh baby. Oh baby.
The last one did so well. You okay over there? You can't see it, but Neil's rubbing his nipples right now because he's so excited about it.
So excited for Child of Light. I just want Steve to play Child of Light. That's all I want. Is Steve to play Child of Light.
Every time I have nothing to play, Neil says Child of Light, and I say no.
He'll be like, I have nothing to play. He actually hasn't said that for months because there's so much stuff to play.
Yeah, I know.
But when he did say that,
when I'm done with Bloodborne and I'm done with Mortal Kombat, I'm gonna be in one of those. I've already thought about it. Like I'm gonna be in one of those. But I have plenty to play because I'm gonna start. I've already said I'm starting Earthbound on my Wii U because I always hear about how good it is, and I have it downloaded. So that's the game I'm gonna play. I want to play it.
And this next game you're gonna play, which comes out.
Yeah, COD Ascendance DLC is coming to the PS4 in 10 days, so there'll be a new zombies map in there. That me and Neil will be playing, probably streaming. We have some.
I don't think we streamed the other zombies once, did we?
No, we did. We gotta
stream more. That's like what we're doing now. We're just podcasters.
We're just podcasters, yeah. But you know what? People are liking it. We got some really nice comments last week. This guy was just like. He was just proud of us.
he was so proud.
And I was like, well, why? And he was like, just for making a good podcast. Keep it up, man. So honestly, guys, when you comment, that gets us really excited. It makes us want to put more effort into it.
Make Steve call me at 6 a.m.
I did. I called someone. If you want me to wake Neil up again, send us an email to qualifiedgamerguys@gmail.com. Or comment, and I'll call him too.
Steve has called me twice in my entire life. Steve has called me twice.
The first time?
One was the first time we did the podcast right before it. He was so excited he had to call me to talk about it. And then when we got an email, he had to wake me up at 6 a.m. to tell me he got an email.
I haven't seen Neil in about 2 years.
4?
No.
More than that.
No, you saw me when I had the huge hickey on my neck.
Last time.
That was the fall. Man. That was the fall of 2013. So we're coming up on 2 years.
I'm gonna post that picture. It's gonna be
No,
It's gonna be
no,
in the podcast. You sent it to me
no.
like 5 times.
That'll be the no. It's your chance to up. You're the uploader,
Yeah.
so you could just make the picture that
The thumbnail
instead of
should just be that
instead
the
of the
whole time.
Koalafied gamer logo, you're just making the picture of my massive hickey.
Oh, it went
Oh
from
my
like his
God.
should to like his ear. Like it
It
was
did.
bad.
I'm not gonna lie. It was the biggest hickey I've ever seen. It just happened to be on my neck.
Just happened to be on his.
I told Neil to stop, but he wouldn't stop it.
I got carried away, guys. I'm sorry.
All right. So that's the news. That's capped off with a hickey story.
With Steve's hickey status.
If you want to email me and ask about the hickey, then go ahead. You don't have to ask game questions. You can just ask us questions about life.
If you want a picture of Steve's hickey, just send us an email.
Yeah, we'll
email it straight to you.
I have one.
He has not gotten rid of it. He sends it to me all the time. Send it to me like twice.
Do. I actually went through all my pictures and deleted old ones, and because I transferred them to my computer, but I kept that one on my phone. You never know when that's gonna come in handy. Speaking of coming in handy, what have you been playing?
So today I started playing a new game called Titan Souls.
Today.
When?
When?
So Titan Souls is it 16-bit if it's kind of top-down-ish, or that 8-bit? Does it matter? Is there a difference besides the bits?
That has to do with how many colors it fits. It's not just if it's top-down or side-scroller. I think it's 16 bits. So
I'm pretty sure it's 16 bits. So it's got this Shadow of the Colossus vibe where
just 16 bits in the whole thing.
just that's it. It's 16 bits. One bit of boss, 15
That's
bosses,
it.
and one character.
Yeah, that's it. Just dots. Go on.
So it's like Shadows of the Colossus. I think I talked about it a bit last week. There's no smaller random encounters.
It's just bosses, right?
Just bosses. There's no story. Hasn't been any words or text.
Mm-hmm.
You just start. You're this kid. You walk through a door with an arrow, and then you're just there. You just start fighting these bosses. I'm pretty sure you're not a good person because you walk in on these bosses and they're just like sleeping, and you just start shooting an arrow into their face until they attack you. And it's really fun. It's extremely frustrating, only because it's a kind of game where you die a lot. It's literally, I'll go over it quick. I know I said it last week. You have one arrow, and you only have one health. So if they hit you, you're dead. But they only have one health as well. Maybe they might have two if you have to like destroy some barrier or whatever. Mm-hmm. So you shoot the one arrow, and then you can call it back to you, or you have to run and pick it up. So it's kind of a one-shot wonder in the sense that you really have to get the proper aim and hit. Otherwise, you're going to be screwed. Mm-hmm. And so in that way, it's challenging and frustrating, and it's really fun. It's kind of that whole difficulty. Like, if I have a single misstep, I'll die, which you totally know about that at ROM, which we'll talk about soon. But the problem is all the spawn points are like 10 seconds away from the bosses. So like some battles will literally last 2 seconds. You'll just go in and they'll just like get a quick hit on you and you're dead. And so it's kind of like, imagine if you had to do the Bloodborne loading times, not as long, but probably 10 times as often. Like if every time you walk through like a door, you had to go through a small loading screen. So it's like all they had to do is move the checkpoint right up to the boss's door, and it would be fine. Like it would be completely okay. The only thing that's frustrating me is dying, and I have to run like 10 or 15 seconds back to the boss, just like down like a path. And that's annoying, but I'm really liking it so far. I heard it's not that long, and there's no real replayability, which I can't speak to yet. But the thought is, once you beat the boss, once you find his secret to beat him, that's it. You're not going to do it again. There's no urge to play the game a second time. But it's impressive. I'm pretty sure it only has 3 developers. Mm-hmm. So it's got like it's a simple soundtrack, but it's pretty impressive at the same time. So I'm really liking it. I'm impressed by it for being 3 developers, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. I think I'll probably beat it. At the rate I'm going, maybe in another hour, probably. Mm-hmm. Like, it seems very short. Like, there's this big door, and like you kind of like, like you kill bosses and it lights up so you can see your progress. And like I'm already like past halfway of lighting that door up. But that's the one thing I'm playing. Why don't you talk about your other 2
that don't line up with yours?
That don't line up with my other 2 that we'll just talk about forever.
So I'm continuing MLB 15, and no real updates on that. Everyone knows.
Have you?
It's a baseball game.
Are you playing? Do you play like a game or 2 a night or something like that? Kind of.
No, I play like half a month a night.
I keep forgetting that like the show is so quick. I keep
Yeah,
forgetting
it's
that.
quick. I play about half a month a night. So I'm continuing that, trying to make the majors. I have not yet.
Oh,
Uh,
how many
yeah, I
months has
know.
it been?
I'm halfway through August, so it's getting late. Then I started Mortal Kombat, which has been awesome. The new one, MKX. So that
Tell me about it.
game, it's fun. I mean, it's more Mortal Kombat, like building off of the MK9 and Injustice, Gods Among Us engines that they used. It looks great. It plays really fluidly. My favorite character, Katana, is still really good in it, so that made me happy. So I've been playing as her.
Are
It's a
they kind of
little
like the
on.
same moves? Like you know, how
Yeah,
some
they
games
changed they
like
they changed the movesets
okay,
slightly.
so you do kind of have to learn it, but you get the same
Yeah.
feeling out of it.
Well, like some of her specials are the same. Like her fan throw, which I like to use, is the same. So I've been using that. But like in this one, every character has three different variations, which I think I mentioned. So that's cool just to go through and see everyone's variations and see what they change because they add new special moves. So like just as an example, Katana normally uses these two fan blades, but one of her variations gives her a purple staff instead. So it changes her weapon, which then
Okay.
changes her special. So you're using the staff instead of throwing the fan blade. So that's really cool. So you know, you got 29 characters, three variations each. So there's a lot of different stuff. It's a little unbalanced though, because I have played 3 games online. Every single person I played was Liu Kang, and every single person used the exact same combo and just cheesed
Oh
it because you can't
God,
block it. So I don't understand what the fun of doing that is. Like
I hate that too.
what are you getting out of just using a combo you know is unblockable continuously online? Like there's no skill involved with it. What's the fun? Oh, look, I'm 10-0. What are you getting out of being 10-0? You didn't actually win other games. So
I
I'm
know.
waiting for them to patch that before I go back on and try and play. Because I actually almost did beat a guy because he wasn't even good enough to do the combo that's unbeatable enough. He kept screwing up the combination. So it's fun. The story in that game, like they started with this with MK9, they continued it with Injustice. They make these like really awesome stories that take you about 4 hours to complete. That you play as every character, and like it's just like watching a movie. Like you'll watch like maybe 5 or 6 minutes of cutscene, and you'll do a fight. Then you'll do like another 4 minutes of a cutscene, and you'll do a fight. But like they're like action movies. Like it's just like watching a movie. So it's really fun to just like kick back and watch it and just see like the ridiculous stuff that goes on. So the story's been pretty cool. I'm like 3 characters into that. And it's fun. I mean, I love Mortal Kombat's one of my favorite game series, so it's always good to have a new one out. I'll probably be playing that on and off for a couple of years. That's exactly what I did for MK9. Is I played the MK9 for 2 years, like you know, at least once a week. So
Yeah. I mean that's kind of the fun of fighting games. So you don't have to play them every day. You just kind of like pick them up now and again when you want
go
to.
back into it. Yep. So and then the last 2 things I've been playing, the same as you two. We've both been playing Bloodborne. Obviously, we'll talk about that first, just to get everything. So me and Neil beat Rom. Got that out
Separately,
of the way. Separately, yeah, not together.
which is a
But
big deal.
around the same time though, like within a couple days of each other.
Well, here's let me preface this because I'm a little happy about it. So Steve was playing a lot, and I was supposed to.
I got way ahead.
Yeah, and like in this game to do the co-op, you have to stay in the same area, and you have to be within 10 levels. So I was afraid Steve was going to get too far away that we wouldn't be able to do the co-op. And so like in one day, I was able to catch up, which I really didn't think. Like I got through the Forbidden Woods all in one go. I killed the witches in this one place, which anyone who doesn't know Bloodborne, this makes no sense. But I was able to take out one boss and go through an entire new area, get to the next boss, and then beat that boss before Steve did. And
Is
Steve
this
was stuck on that one boss.
Rom?
Not Rom, no. The 3 dudes, the snake guys.
Oh yeah. The Knights of Yarnum or whatever.
Yeah, the Shadow something
Shadow
or
of
others.
Yarnum.
Who knows? They
Yep.
really have cool names. All the bosses in that
Shadow
game.
of Yarnum.
Yeah, so Steve was stuck on those guys, not forever, but he was just like,
I think I beat him like an hour after you did or something. Yeah.
yeah, like it was
Yeah.
just like, I was I was streaming that actually. You could have watched me as I surpassed Steve. Violent Rainbows was there.
Yeah, it was.
We were cheering. He was cheering me on. Actually, he was making fun of me half the time.
I
And
heard
then-
about it.
making fun of Steve. But then we got to the next area where there's this one boss that apparently is supposed to be extremely tough, and all like there's people leave notes that try to give you hints, and all like a lot of the notes were saying find someone to do co-op with this
Yep.
because it's so difficult. And me and Steve were able to do it by
Yeah, we did it
ourselves.
on our own. And it's funny because we actually tried doing it co-op for me because Neil beat him first and we lost twice.
Yeah,
And then
like
we didn't try it again. And then I beat him like after 4 more tries. I finally got Rom. So
yeah,
that was a
I
good
mean,
feeling.
we would have. I bet we would have beat it co-op if we gone a couple more times.
Yeah,
It was just like you
put more
like there
if
was
we
things
put
to
more
do.
into it.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
but it's always I know the new area. Have you gotten down those stairs yet?
no, I've gotten down them, but I haven't gotten far enough to go to the next lamp. So
You really just have to make a run for it, and
I'm
then
going to. I need to do that. Probably gonna do that after we're done here. So
yeah. Do you want to do a little co-op? I can get you through that.
I
Hopefully,
mean, if
my
your internet's not terrible,
my internet was so bad last night, our party chat was just like in and out for like you'd hear one word out of every three. Just us speaking on the party chat. It was so bad last night.
So yeah, so we're pretty far. I'm really enjoying it. It'll probably be both of our game of the year so far, right, Neil?
So far, the only thing I can see besting it is gonna be like Metal Gear Solid, but this game, I've never been like on Reddit so much for a game than this one. Like this is just taking over my life for like 2
You don't.
weeks.
It's amazing because you don't even like use Reddit.
I really don't go on Reddit that much, and I'm on the Bloodborne subreddit constantly. It's also because I'm working.
welcome.
Who wants to do that?
Yeah, exactly. And other than that, we've been playing Hearthstone because it came out on phones, and
I had no idea it was on the computer. Like I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought it was only on iOS devices. So I thought you had to have like an iPad, like not even phones. I thought you had to have like an iPad. I thought it was very specific.
I'm pretty sure at first it came out on.
It was definitely on the PC. I learned.
No, I think it came out on iPad first exclusively.
Okay, so I'm not completely making it up then.
No, you're right.
Okay, but I just saw because there was someone I follow on Twitter who's obsessed with it, and they basically made this huge announcement that it was like, oh, it's on Android now. And so as soon as I saw that, I just downloaded it and was immediately addicted.
Yep, I got addicted to it too, and now I'm playing it a lot.
We've been playing it during this whole podcast. You don't even know.
Yeah, exactly. Which is great. Actually, before we came on, we actually were delayed a little bit because I was playing a match online, which I won.
Which you did win. It's for anyone that doesn't know, if you somehow don't manage to know this, you probably know at least a little bit about Magic, the card game, the Gathering, or any game like Pokemon cards. It's basically something like that with World of Warcraft characters, which I don't know any World of Warcraft characters at all, and I don't care.
Me either.
That. And you don't have to know that. But it's addicting in the sense that when you win games, you win cards, you build decks. Certain decks have special powers and abilities. Some will focus on healing, some will focus on attack. And there's all these different strategies, and since it's a free-to-play game, you don't have to spend money, which I really like. And they don't really push that at you too much. Like, other free-to-play games will shove it at you all the time, or it'll be Mortal Kombat, a paid game, and they'll still shove it at you.
Yeah, that's the only thing I really disliking about that game, man.
Is it really that obnoxious? Where it's just like,
everywhere you look, it's just like, hey, like maybe you should pay money for this. No,
that's like Dead or Alive, but it's all just like if you go onto a character and you scroll through like the costume selections, each character must have over 100 costumes, and they just get skimpier and skimpier as it goes on, and each one costs like $1.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, what do you expect? From
Yeah,
that?
I mean, but that's like, I don't know. I hate when they just go over the top and if they shove it in your face. But Hearthstone is really not like that.
No, which is surprising, but I mean, it kind of is though, because like you're supposed to get if you want to get 3 like missions, you need to get 700 coins, which is really hard.
You get 100 coins for a quest, right?
Not all quests. Like my current
really?
quest.
Oh,
today
you're right.
is,
Some get 40.
Yeah, my current quest today, I think, is win 3 games with any class, and then we're only gonna get 40 coins for that. So
that's true.
That would take me at least an hour to do. So that's an hour to get 40 coins. So that's not even half. So you're thinking you gotta do that like 14 or 15 times, more than that. So you're thinking about 15 hours to unlock 3 missions. That's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, but the other thought, whenever I get coins, I always just want to buy a new deck.
Me too. I just want to buy packs.
But I'm sure at some point I'll probably just cough up a couple bucks and just get that extra quest or side story, whatever it's called, because it looks really fun. and it's really worth the money. I think it's the first free-to-play game I think I would ever spend money on.
Well, it's really well done. The whole thing's really well done.
That's all. Like, I'm amazed at how it runs on the phone.
Yeah, and like all the stuff you can do, like the chatting or whatever, and like you could see when your friends are online. It's crazy.
I just like to point out that I did beat Steve.
You did.
Both times that we played.
I had them dead to rights.
On both games, you were crushing me, and I don't know how it turned around or whatever, but I snuck by at the end, and a win's a win, so I'm going to take it.
A win is a win. All right. That's the podcast. Goodbye.
That's it, guys. Get out of here. That was
Thanks. Wait a second, Neil. You know what time? It's April. So should we spring forward and wrap this thing up?
Oh, God. I thought you were going to make a 420 joke. I'm a little disappointed.
420! Whoa! Let's get high!
That was... Oh, my God. I expect better out of you. I expect better puns.
Better puns?
Something.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't think about it. I forgot. And so much on my mind. And
Hearthstone
and Bloodborne
and so many
Mortal Kombat. It's... All right. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us.
No one gets that except for me.
Well, you're laughing, so it doesn't matter. Thanks for joining us for the Koalafied Gamer Guys podcast. This has been episode 13. Unlucky 13. We'll probably have some trouble uploading this or something. Anyway, what do I do now? Oh, okay. Yeah. So
take it away.
Subscribe to us on YouTube. You're here. You're listening. If you're listening to it, you're here because it's the only place it goes up because we gave up on Podmatic. So subscribe, hit the subscribe button, mash the like button, comment, leave us a comment. We'll respond. We always respond. Shoot us an email at koalafiedgamerguys.com. That's wrong. shoot us an email at koalafiedgamerguys@gmail.com. If you want to get your question answered, if you want to hear me sing the song, and you'll see that we answer the questions at the beginning of the show, so you will not have to stick around too long to hear your question answered. We really appreciate getting the questions, guys. It makes it a lot of fun for us. We had a lot of fun thinking about how we were going to answer that first one, so we'd love to get some more. So hit us up, koalafiedgamerguys@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is koalafiedggs. You could subscribe to us or follow us on Twitch, whatever one doesn't cost money. I always forget. It's follow us. Follow us on Twitch. Our Twitch handle is Koalafied Gamer Guys, twitch.tv/Koalafied Gamer Guys. If you like our intro song, you can head over to soundcloud.com/gearheadedm. That's our good friend. He makes the song. He made our logo. So give him some love over there for bringing us today as you see us. So I got the Twitter, I got the Twitch, got the YouTube, I got it all. Again, guys, please email us, koalafiedgamerguys@gmail.com. We'd love to answer your questions. Neil, do you have anything else you'd like to say?
I think you got it covered. I think you stumbled enough that that I would only add more stumbles to it.
You are basically the worst. All you do is bring us down as a team.
I want to see more emails just completely insulting me.
Yeah, I do. Me too. Neil, we've been Skyping for 2 hours, then we're about to sign off and just get onto a party chat for 2 hours. So
then we'll probably, before we go to bed, we'll play a couple matches
play
of
Hearthstone.
You don't understand that me and Steve.
We spent just talk all day. Talking. All right, I gotta get out of here. Neil can stay, but I'm out of here.
I'll stay here, guys. I'll take it over.
Thanks for listening to the Koalafied Gamer Guys podcast. We love you guys. I love you, Neil.